Hello and welcome to a humble Highland home. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope 2023 has gotten off to a great start for you all. We've had a few weeks where we decided to close the gate, to focus inwards, to get things back in order, ready for the year ahead. Closing the gate is a phrase that I like to use when I need to switch off the noise for a while, to simplify things and to allow things just to be, to take the pressure off. It might mean to get things done or not, as the case may be. We had a few things which prevented us from completing the seasonal and routine jobs that I would normally get done before the holidays and before the snow came. But we did enough, and now we're into a brand new year. We've gotten our energies back and we're looking forward to getting our house and garden back in order. I've spent some lovely time in the limited daylight down by the river, gratefully reflecting on the year gone past, reviewing the things that went well and areas that I will learn from, and of course planning for the year ahead, especially for the kitchen garden. We are not quite a full year into having the polytunnel growing space, so this year I hope to plan it a little differently and make sure that the growing systems work a little bit more streamlined. We have a very short growing season in this area of the Highlands. Sometimes we don't get any winter sun at all. So I have to make the most of the daylight hours that we do get. I've really missed not spending as much time in the garden throughout the winter months, either in the greenhouse or in the polytunnel. So it's a very welcome time to start planning the kitchen garden and choosing seeds for the things that we want to grow. Today we just had a little bit of ice lying, so to avoid any further slips, trips or falls, I'm sprinkling a little bit of wood ash on the ice just to melt it. Now I'm very mindful of the temptation to plant seeds at this time of year, as it's very early for a lot of seeds, but there are still some seeds that can be planted. I had spoken to somebody last year that always plants their onion seeds on Boxing Day. I didn't quite make Boxing Day, but mid-January seems to be good enough. Now I have to admit I've never planted onion seeds quite so early in the year, but let's give it a go. The seed start mix I always use is a 50-50 mix of organic peat-free compost mixed with washed sand. I like to feel the consistency of the mix, and this is just a good system that works well for me. I had both the compost and the sand stored in the greenhouse for the past few days, so it's had a chance to warm up a little bit, which will help with the germination process. Onion seeds are quite small in size, so they don't need a great deal of compost or any kind of coverage over the top of them. The seed's own food supply is within the seed, and that's enough to help it to germinate until it can surface and start to photosynthesize and make its own food then from the sunlight. Mother Nature really is pretty magical. And because the seeds are so small, I'm watering from the bottom up rather than with a watering can at the top down. and that prevents the seed getting washed away further down into the compost. These peas that I'm planting are for a quick crop of pea shoots, which I will grow on the windowsills in the kitchen. These are homegrown, dried, saved seeds that will give us a wee taste of summer in the colder months. I'm planting the seeds quite close together, as they don't need a great deal of root growing space, as they're not going to grow to full fruition. As the light starts to fade, there's a few jobs that I want to get done before the day turns in. In the area where I've just moved the pots, I want to continue the growing space up to the staging and put the last little bit of pathway in there. But I think that's going to have to wait for another day, as I do a quick plant check. We tidy up where the carrots have been and just check that the garlic is doing what it should be doing. Some of this year's garlic came from last year's harvest, a full circle economy, which is what I aim for. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to harvest everything that I'd hoped from this side of the polytunnel, but eventually it will be returned to the compost to feed the next season of growing. I've spoken about the outside growing space in other videos, but I didn't manage to progress too far with it in the previous year. So this year it's going to become a bit more of a focus. In fact, that is our plan for the rest of the year, is to simplify our processes and finish what we've started. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Take care of yourself and each other, and I'll see you in the next video.